If you're looking to quantum leap your life in the next 30 days, then your higher self sent you this video. What I'm taking you behind the scenes right now is a coaching session I had with some of my internal clients. We're covering situations such as people sleeping in their car after their business has failed, people that are trying their businesses but have been failing for multiple years, how to pull yourself out of that situation, how to reject the projection. If you're stuck in your current reality, but you know you can do more, how do you bridge that gap between your current reality and the one you see in your imagination? What are the meditations you should be doing? So make sure you stick to the end of this video. It's a nice coaching session that's a lot different from what I have on my channel that teaches you exactly how to implement the material right into your life. So without further ado, get out your notebook. Let's get straight into it.
I have a question, Mr. Law of Attraction.
Let's do it.
How do you stay focused on your goals when you're on survival mode? Like, for example, now I live in my car, and I know your story. You used to live in your car as well. Like, can you give me some?
Yeah. You're going to have to reject the projection. You're living in two worlds. And I talked about in our last YouTube video, so I recommend go watching that. Okay. By the way, you guys should be watching all my YouTube videos because like it's all gonna be new content. I have so much content, so like they're never gonna be an overlap of stuff. I have like $100,000 worth of Bob programs, so make sure you guys are watching in different places. More for recreation, I would say. The YouTube is recreation. It's like ads. It's like but make sure you watch everything. Side note. Okay, so you have to reject the projection. You're living in two types of worlds. Living in an internal world and an external world. Okay, some of my biggest quantum leaps. I would talk about the two biggest leaps. The first one was Bob Proctor when I went from 1,000 in my account to 100,000 a week every like 14 days. That was when that's when nothing was happening. What do you have to do? My imaginative world was more powerful than my reality of the 3D world. So you're gonna have to literally live in the dream so much that you start to like believe that everything you're living in right now is not real. The second time my quantum leap happens when I came to Dubai. I came to Dubai with $1,000. Like I've told you guys before. So I made like $1.3 million working with Bob Proctor, but then I pissed it all away. Poor money management, flexing, new money. I thought 100,000 a month was gonna happen forever. And I was like, and I just ended up pissing the money away. Bob Proctor died. I left and started other businesses and went broke for 2 years. Then I came to Dubai because I was like living with my grandparents' house again. And that was when I was the most messed up. I'm like, I had made all this money, I had learned all these principles, and I was broke again. I was like literally contemplating jumping off my balcony. I swear to God. Like I was like, if I don't figure this out, this material's fake. And my entire life for the last 4 years is not even real. And I don't know what I've been learning, and I'm jumping off a bridge. That's how bad my life was when I first got here. I was working, and it got to the point I had 40 cents in my account. I had to call my grandma to ask for money, and I was like crying on the call because I just wasn't going to give up. I wasn't going to go back home. I was going to figure this out. But I kept doing the work. I kept doing the visualization. I kept doing detachment. The detachment is a really important one you have to do. If you're that bad, you're going to have to do detachment meditation, which is why that's part of the morning routine. You have to do detachment. You have to detach from your 3D world. So I digress. I had 40 cents in my account and I started on YouTube, and first month 100,000 on YouTube, and now it's almost $1 million this year with Miss Law of Attraction. So I know for a fact this material works because I did it twice now. So first step, you're gonna have to do detachment meditation. Detachment separates you from your 3D reality, and it puts you on a higher frequency because you open up your eyes, and it's so easy to get emotionally involved in what's going on outside. I mean, I'm doing the same thing. Like I'm not at 1 million a month, and it upsets me because why is it? I want it to be faster. So I have to reject my current reality and say, well, what do I really want? And I have to live in my imagination. I have to live in it so like I have to convince myself so much that this is my new reality, that whatever's going on around me is fake. This is not real. I said it like a GTA character. So like when you're playing GTA and you're the third person, you have the little character doing things, and then you're the player, like like moving the guy. You have to get so much that you detach from the character playing the game in first person to seeing yourself as the game player, as the developer that's moving the character, and say like this is not real. I can put in this cheat code and I can be at a level, being in a mansion, for example. So the way to do that is by detachment. Do the detachment meditation, and you're gonna have to do a couple of them throughout the day because you can do it. You feel good for an hour, 2 hours, then you check your bank account. You had to buy gas or whatever. And you're like, oh shit, and you get like you feel bad again. You have to do another one. I was doing 2 or 3 a day during those phases when I was like figuring out like, is this material really work after, when I got here to Dubai. So do the attachment meditation. Second one You have to be so clear on what the next level is, the next vision is, that you can get emotionally involved in it. Like you're living in a like your mind and your consciousness is living in a fake world of your imagination while your body's living in a 3D world of a delay time. And so it doesn't matter what's going on now because you're so involved and so bought into the new reality that at time it has by law it has to change. It has to change. But what happens is people do it for a minute and then they get sucked back to the 3D world and they lose the frequency and they go back to the reality and they just stay stuck. The only way to pull yourself out, and I know this because the biggest quantum loops always came from when I was struggling the most. And I pulled myself out by doing those principles. I would detach from my current reality during the meditations because at sometimes it's so hard. Like you can't just do it with your eyes open. Just working, and seeing the situation, it's too hard. Like you're gonna have to detach. So you do the detachment. Then you're so clear on what the new vision is that you start to live in that reality as if it's done now, which is like Neville Goddard's principles, right? The law of assumption. Like you have lived it too much, you have seen it so much, you have meditated it on so much that it becomes so much more real. Which is in those phases where it's even darker, you have to do more meditations so you can really live in that reality in the internal world much more than the outer world. Like in those hardest moments, I'm doing at least like 3 or 4 meditations a day so I can really just raise my frequency. Okay, so that's the meditation. That's what, and that, by the way, that also takes momentum. You have to build momentum. It takes a little bit of time for you to build that momentum. It could take 2 to 3 weeks. So you have to keep sticking it out long enough where persistence comes in. You have to keep persisting in that vision long enough and then there'll be a point where you cross over the threshold and you'll know. It'll just click one day. Be like, this shit is not real. This is happening. It's happening right now. There's a massive quantum leap. I just feel it, and nothing in the outside world has changed, but you start to feel it because the subconscious mind has now accepted the new belief that you've been holding for 2 to 3 weeks, and then you just feel it, and it becomes a more static frequency that you're living in. Meaning, it becomes part of your reality, even though your external world hasn't changed. Like your beliefs inside have changed because the momentum is built up over several weeks. So you're gonna have to keep persisting in the new vision long enough. Okay. That's the meditation. That's the mindset. The third one, you have to take quantum actions. You have to do crazy shit, crazy things, such as, like, for example, when I came to Dubai with $1,000, right? Moving to a new environment, starting a new business, doing something like you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. That's how I started Bob Proctor. I had nothing to lose other than like going into more debt or putting some more money into collection, but I have everything to gain. Like you have to work. Like you're gonna have to try different things. You're gonna have to try YouTube channels and try a launch and try this and hire this and do that. Like you're gonna have to do things. Like do things that you believe that can help you get to that level. And don't do small things. You have to do big things, quantum moves, things, actions that would assume that you've already achieved it. Like, so at the time, Jason Stone, if you guys are familiar with who he is, runs Millionaire Mentor on Instagram. Back in the day, it was like a big account. I think it's like 10 million followers or something. I knew him. Like we used to go to events, but we weren't close. I had his phone number. Like he would know who I am, but we weren't close. So while I'm like trying to figure out how I'm gonna get to 100,000 a month, I got this random idea to call him and do trainings for his new network marketing team because he was like really hyped about this network marketing team he was building. So it was just this random idea I got one day while I was driving to the Bob Proctor consultant event we had in Los Angeles. And it would scare the shit out of me because I'm like, why would he, a multimillionaire, super famous, why would he want to work with me? Like he gets pitched every day. Like, why would he want to work with me? And it scared me. But that is what you hit the terror barrier, which you'll learn in lesson 8 of thinking through results. I hit a terror barrier. My old self wanted to keep me safe and keep my dignity, I guess you can say, whatever that meant. But the other self knew, the higher self knew that I needed to work with him and access him to get to the next level. So I was so nervous. I remember pacing back and forth, and my friend hyped me up to call him. And I ended up calling Jason. I was like, hey, Jason, this is DeAndre. You remember me? Like, hey, I just started working with Bob Proctor and I had this idea to train your team for free. And he's like, dude, Bob Proctor, I just saw Bob Proctor last week at a live event. That's amazing. You work with Bob? Yeah, come in. Like, how did I know he had just seen Bob Proctor that week? And he was so hyped on Bob. So he let me in. Next month through that network, that's how I unlocked the 100K a month. But if I never called because I was so scared to do something I've never done, it would have never worked. So the next thing is you have to have a big, this where it goes back to C-type goal, magnificent obsession. You have to have a goal so big that it causes you to do things that you never would have done. To give you an example, let's just say during that period, if my goal was to only make 10,000 a month, which is 2 clients, I would have never reached out to Jason. That idea would have never crossed my mind. I would have been doing DM outreach, email marketing, making YouTube videos, things like this slow. But because I needed 100,000 a month, I needed 20 clients, which I wasn't going to get doing outreach DMs. So as I was planting plant this idea into the subconscious mind. I did that for 2 weeks, and the idea came after 2 weeks. This is why you have to stay persistent on the goal while detaching. The idea came after 2 weeks to reach out to him, and I knew it was the goal because it scared me. And when I did it, it worked. So you have to have a vision so much bigger than where you're at now. Like you guys literally are God. God lives inside of you. You have the ability to create. And unfortunately, you have created that reality. And I remember talking to you a couple months ago where it's like you kept looking, like you have put yourself in that position. You have to take responsibility. You kept looking at your outside world. You kept looking at the bank account going down. You kept looking at this, and you kept deciding through ignorance, which is not knowing, you kept deciding to get emotionally involved in the decline. You did not select to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's just the honest truth. You didn't apply the principles. You applied it against yourself. You used your imagination to see yourself where you're at now. But now you have to pull yourself from that reality by imagining yourself in the positive way. And that's a little bit harder now because you've done that. But if you learn it, you'll never go back and you end up being a millionaire. That's what happened to me. So, summation, detachment meditation. Number two, having a vision and a goal so big that it causes you to do things that you've never done. Then you have to do quantum actions, actions that you would never do, that scare you, that put you in positions where like you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Then you have to continue to persist in the new vision by having it so detailed and so clear that you start to live in the dream. And over 2 to 3 weeks, you start to believe that it's real, and you stop being the first person character in GTA, and you start being the developer level. And there'll be this switch that hits that says this shit is not real. I remember these days I would wake up in when I first got to Dubai, where I would wake up and like have to make a payment on the hotel I was staying in. I had no money. And I'd wake up and I'd be like, this shit is not fucking real. Like, I don't even know what reality this is because I was so evolved of this vision of me making so much money. And then where I was, it just didn't make sense to me. And I didn't feel like I was living in my real body because my real body was living in poverty, but my mind was in so much wealth that it just felt weird for like a week or two. But then the next month, it actually happened because I kept persisting because this is what I've been doing for years, and I knew these principles. So like, is this making sense? Like, it's many things you have to do, and I'll put the recording in the chat so you can watch it again. But like, you have to listen to that and apply those things. 30, bro, like literally from where you're at now, next month you'll be making 50K a month, 30K a month, like literally. If you apply these principles,
Well,
you're studying thinking the results, you're doing the worksheets, you're doing the task. It's a lot, man. That's why I say on YouTube, it's like a language. It's a language. It's not like, oh, watch this YouTube video and you're magically gonna feel good. It's not like, oh, what's the one meditation? It's a language. It's multiple things put together, like any language. Like what's English? Like, it's like you can formulate English, do positive. You can do English for negative. You can do English for business, English for talking to children. Like it's a language. But when you formulate the language in a linear fashion and persist in that system, it will work. Which I just gave you the system right there. Does that make sense?
yes, Jandre, and I took all the notes. So detachment, um, be so focused on your new reality.
Emotionally, the way you're going to do that is through meditation. You have to just keep seeing it, keep seeing it, keep seeing it 3 to 4 times a day. I was doing 3 to 4 meditations a day during any of those dark times that I quantum leaped. Like I started living more in my internal world than I was in my external world. So the gateway to do that is the meditations, which is already laid out for you. You're gonna have to watch this recording multiple times, bro. Like for sure, because there's a lot to unpack there, and there's a lot of things you have to do. But once you have the system, it's very simple, and now you have to just do it until, and have faith that it's gonna work, which it will, and it happens very quickly, within 30 to 60 days.
And I'm starting a job tomorrow. I've been, and the reason why I got to all this is nothing worked. Like I remember we talked about it. Like I started AI model, which didn't work. Some AI videos, which didn't
Because
work.
you're focusing on the outside world, bro. It's all mindset.
Facebook ads,
If
nothing,
you
nothing worked.
nothing's gonna work if you don't have the right paradigm. If you, it doesn't matter what you start. If you keep getting emotionally involved in the outside world, it'll just keep sucking you back, and you keep operating from a bad frequency. It's like it. It's okay. When I say raise your frequency, what is your frequency? It's your thoughts, your feelings, and your
Emotion.
actions, your habits. That is a one frequency that you emit out into the world. Okay, it's one frequency you emit. The law of attraction is a reaction to your frequency. So
Yes.
you could be taking an action, but the only difference is you're taking an action at a lower frequency. Lower thoughts, lower feelings, lower confidence, and lower actions. Thinking small,
Yes.
acting small, and feeling small. Then you do an action, it's not going to work. But another person can do the same action, but from a higher place of thinking, a higher feeling state, and a higher quantum action because they have more belief in what they're doing, and it's going to work out. So that's why it's not about action. It's the frequency from which you take an action. Any business that I started and scaled to 7 figures, when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't. I was by lesson 4 of thinking to results. I was already making 6 figures a month, and I didn't even know what I was selling. Was I didn't know I didn't know anything. Even with YouTube, I didn't even know how to make YouTube videos, and I was making a bunch of money. Like because I was operating from a frequency of abundance, not the thing that I was doing. You have to raise your frequency, and once you do that, money just starts flowing to you. People reach out to you, doors start to open, and you pull yourself out of that situation. It's literally effortless when you operate from frequency rather than just pure action alone. So yeah, no business is going to work out because you're not working out internally. Once you fix your internal, whatever you touch becomes successful. I have clients in so many different industries, like at least 50 different industries of clients, and I teach them the same thing. They all win if they apply correctly. They all win in their frequency in whatever business model that they're in. Crypto, real estate, coaches, music producers. I mean, everything. They all start to win when they have alignment because then you become a successful person by a successful frequency. Whatever you touch is a byproduct, is successful. It's all mindset. That make
Yeah,
sense?
I'll definitely listen to this recording again.
Yeah, good question. All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Who's next?
Yeah, I actually have several, but I'm guess I'm gonna only do like a few or one.
Yeah, whatever you
So
want.
I,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
we can get
okay.
deep.
So I've been stuck on chapter one for like over a month, and like I asked this in the group chat, but I didn't get any answers on like
In the
a
Instagram
page,
chat?
huh?
In
In
the
the
Instagram
Instagram
chat?
group chat.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
sorry about that. I don't have Instagram on my phone. I'm like detoxing. Sorry about that. But that's why we have
yeah,
these
no,
calls. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Um, well, I mean, I asked the whole group and nobody really answered. I guess I'm not sure. But like on page like 52, where it says desired paradigm, I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to write here, where it has like 6 boxes here that says mind, body, family, society, finances, and spirituality, and then it's like 5 lines each. And I'm like, I need examples because I have no idea what I'm supposed to write here.
Good question. This actually ties in what I said with Leor. Yeah, this is your chance to get clear on what you want your life to look like. Like, for example,
No,
what
no,
do you want your
no, I get that. I just
okay.
don't know like what this means. Like each of
Like
this section, like what does it mean to have like a paradigm mind? What does that mean? Or a
okay,
par
a
like
paradigm is a multitude of your habits. So okay, so okay, what is the work that I essentially do? There's thoughts that flow into us as long as we're alive, right? That's what consciousness is, and those thoughts hit us, okay, and it hits our thoughts, and it can only go two ways, positive or negative. My role is for people, for most people, it hits negative. That's what my business is. A thought hits, for example, Leor hits is in his car right now. A thought hits and he instantly goes negative. Oh, my situation. How am I gonna get out? Like negative. All I do is help people get clear on what the positive one is. But in order to have that, you have to be detailed. Like, what does the new vision look like? What does the house look like? What does the girlfriend look like? What does the relationship? What's the business look like? You get so clear on what the positive one is. So when the idea hits you, it goes positive, and you start to flip the script. So, for example, Leor, if he does this correctly, this will be the biggest pivot in his life. That this is why he became a millionaire, was what he built right there in his car. That's the positive section. For another person would go, I'm done. I'm going broke. I'm going to be homeless. I can't get out of the situation. And they just fumble. where if you have very clear, define what the positive one is, the idea hits, and you're like, oh, this is my chance to pivot. This is called a law of polarity. There's an equal and opposite. You can't have inside without outside. You can't have black without white. You can't have light without dark. So what you're doing in that section there is you're getting clear on what's the positive section. What does the dream life look like? What does the business look like? What is the new paradigm? What does the new person look like? You have to be so clear on what the new destination is. So you have to figure out, what do you really want? What do you want in that new version of yourself? Who have you become in that new version? So you have to get very clear on what that is, which ties into lesson one of thinking to results. You have to be so clear on what that is in detail in different sections. So when you go into your meditation, you're actually visualizing those scenes that you wrote out in that section.
Okay, so there's my next question is the visualization, like I
Sorry to stop you.
remember
Did I answer the first question? Are you clear on what to do in the
kind
first question?
of like which might fall into the second question, which might makes the first question more clear for me is I remember when I was talking to Alexis, he when he says like visualization, like you both of you talk about cars and like the colors of the car, like switching with the snap of your finger,
Yeah.
changing the
That's an easy
colors of
one
the
for people
cars,
to
right?
listen to. Yeah.
I have a hard time doing that. Like,
Interesting. Okay,
because
so
like
you
I
might.
know, like when I close my eyes, I can kind of imagine what a car looks like, right? Like a detailed car, not some sketchy ass drawing for a car, but like what a car is supposed to look like. And I know the concept of every single color that's out there. I'm not colorblind. So like
Mhm.
I know what the color is supposed to look like, except like I cannot imagine like the colors changing in my mind, if that makes
Got it.
sense.
Okay, I don't know exactly what it's called, the psychological definition, but there's a certain percentage of people, I think like 10 to 50%, don't quote me on that, of people that actually can't visualize things. Like that's actually a phenomenon. Like if you tell them to visualize an apple, they actually can't. That's a small section of the population that can. So how can we do that? You're going to need a little bit of extra training. Okay, a little bit more detailed things. Like for example, if somebody has a lisp when they're communicating, they need to practice just a little bit more. So this is a thing where it's harder for you to visualize, so you just get to put a little bit more attention to detail. So with that being said, what's the scene that you're visualizing right now that would imply that you have reached your goal? So let's get more specific. Like what's the C type goal or the vision you have in your goal card right now?
Make $10,000 a month.
Make 10,000 a month. Okay. What
But
in
right
what
now I'm
business?
making zero the past 6 years.
Okay. 10,000 a month in what business?
That's the thing. I don't know. That like so like what I tell people, well, I tell my friends rather, is I don't know what I know that other people don't know.
Okay, so what business model? Like we have to attach it to something. Like have you done research over like what business, even if it didn't work out, like what business are you working on? Because it has to come through some type of business or
Yeah.
sales
Okay.
job or
So
something
there's
like this.
two that I'm kind of working on is like I've been doing this for like the past year and a half is like I've been going through this online like mentorship program thing where every 3 months I get assigned like a mentor, but like um it's for digital marketing, but then like I'm starting to like not enjoy digital marketing and then like I'm but basically digital marketing and they're supposed to mentor me for 3 months and it's supposed to be like an internship, but they
Okay,
call
George,
it
so
apprenticeship.
clarity, what's the business model? Like what's the vehicle that can help it? There's affiliate marketing, there's Amazon FBA, there's consulting, there's starting a car wash business. Like what's the vehicle that you want to do to help you get to 10K a month?
Okay, well, recently I thought about doing Forex again because like I remember 10 years ago I tried studying it for like a year. Um, and I spent like six hours a day trying to study that thing, and then I just couldn't figure it out. And I was so close to being figuring it out, and then I was like, okay, I can't figure this out. 5 years later, I tried it again for like 5 months, and then I was like, okay, I can't. I'm still stuck at this one point, and then I'm and then like this past month or so, like I was like a video popped up in my YouTube feed, and I was like, okay, maybe I should give this another go, and then um so like I'm going to try it again from a different person.
Okay. Are you taking actions or are you just gathering information?
Oh no,
Are you
no, I'm
taking
taking
massive
actions.
action?
I actually deposited another 10,000 yen in my account and then what do you call it? And then watching the video, I'm trying to figure out like how he's doing it, and then I'm like, or what his strategy is, and his like how he's reading the charts and all that. And then basically, I took two trades. They were correct trades, except like there's one thing I fucked up on, and then like I lost the trades, but I know it was right because it went in the right direction like later, and I could have made like 2x my account, but
Mhm. Okay, so
like I
Forex is the
fucked up on a
vehicle. Like,
trade.
okay, like I'm doing trading myself. Like I bought a course and a mentor to do trading so I can apply this material and make some money in trading as well. Fun little side project I'm doing. So I know trading is 5% strategy, 95% mindset, same concept. So I have to ask the question, who am I? Who have I become to be a successful trader? So I'm working on my identity. Like I knew for a fact starting this, I was going to be successful. Like I am going to earn millions of dollars in trading. Like this is before I even opened up a course. You see, like the belief level is belief. It's not just action alone. Like I know for a fact I am a very successful trader, even though I haven't even like took a trade myself. I already knew it. Like I've already been building that momentum because I do 2 hours of trading a night, like going through the course. And I already knew for a fact, like even if it takes me 6 months, 12 months to learn it, like I will be doing six figures a month in trading, even though like just because I've already decided. Like it's a belief level. So I don't, we'll get to the belief level in a second. Let's start focus on the business model. So the Forex is the one. Okay, so you have a course, you have a mentor, which I always recommend if you're starting something, get a course or a mentor. I always do. I wasn't gonna go watch a bunch of YouTube videos and waste time. I bought a course teaching me set and forget FX Alex in Miami. So I bought his course on Forex, on swing trading. Okay, so you have a mentor, so you have the strategy, so you have a system that you can follow. Great. So you have a course, things that you can do. Okay. Next one is identity based. It's your belief level. You see, like my belief is before I even touched it, I was like doing research. Like, is this something that I want to do for a side project? And I was like, once I got into it, I was like, holy shit, I'm going to crush this thing. I can already see myself doing $300,000 months, $100,000 a month. I don't care how long it takes, a year, 2 years, doesn't matter. I know that I'm going to be successful in it. So I'm going into it with such a high belief. I'm not going into it with like, I'm not saying you are or not. I'm just saying it's the belief, right? I'm going into this with such a strong belief that I'm going to win at this. It's like it's the belief that you can and you believe that you can't. Really, it's that. And sometimes here's where you have to go work on your self-image, bro. You probably have a very low self-image of yourself. And that tends to happen when you've tried multiple things over several years and they don't work out, and you try something else and you have a very low self-image of yourself. And I know that because when I went broke again, I was trying different things, but my self-image was in the trash. Like I was doing things and I was hyped, but deep down I was so like depressed and sad of like what had happened and that my self-image was so low. I remember thinking like, damn, like my self-image is very low right now. So I had to go and work on my self-image. I put myself in a new environment. That's actually why I went to Dubai because my self-image was so low. I went and changed everything about my environment. And so I started working on my self-image, putting myself around different things, new things, new gyms, put myself around wealth, started seeing other people doing things, and started raising my self-image. All right. So one of the things you're gonna have to do, bro, is you're gonna have to go work on your self-image, your identity. Because I can probably like this is like surface level coaching, right? It just takes time to identify these things, but I can tell just by track records of what you've done. You have a low self-image of yourself through past failures. So you're gonna have to get clear on what the new identity is, which I think we've already we have quantum self. It's in the quantum codes. I think it's the last lesson, third or fourth lesson, where you write the new self-image. You have to work on your new self-image. When a person has a strong self-image of themselves, whatever they touch will be successful. I started YouTube. I knew it was gonna be successful, and boom, it happened. Even though I didn't know what I was doing. That's the funniest thing about these laws is like you don't even actually have to know what you're doing. You just have this beginner's luck, this belief luck that whatever you start to succeed at. So some of the work that I would be doing with you is not analytical. I would really get into your identity and your self-belief around what you're doing. Start to build your beliefs. Do the like, okay, what does this look like in a day? Time-wise, it's 20% of your day. You're doing your studies in the morning, you're raising your beliefs about yourself, and the rest of the day you're working. Like I'm not meditating all day. I'm working on projects and programs and YouTube videos and stuff. So I'm working 80% of the day. But 80% of my success is coming from my identity, knowing I'm gonna freaking crush this thing. We're having a launch coming up this month, and this is gonna be the biggest launch we've ever done. We're gonna do $300,000, break my record for the month. There's nothing in my physical world right now that says that's even possible. Literally, the only thing that's driving this is I know we're gonna freaking crush this thing, and I'm building momentum. We're gonna crush this. I don't know where it's gonna come from. I don't care. All I know is we're hyped about this. So I got my team. We're working on this, and Alexis is working on this. And my team. The people are gonna come from somewhere, but I'm a magnet. I generate the feelings first from identity, and whatever it is. Is it a YouTube channel? Is it Bob Proctor Consultant? Is it Forex? I generate this identity that I'm going to freaking crush this thing. I don't know how. I don't know when. I know from an identity standpoint that I'm going to go into this thing and I'm just going to be a magnet and everything's going to magnetize to me. That is such a strong, that's 80% of your success right there. And if a person doesn't have that, it's not going to work or not as quickly or as fast as they want. And human beings need quick results. Like if you start a business, you want to get paid within the month, 2 months, or at least a track record of some success, right? Take a trade and you win, right? You want to get some type of thing, and you could just ride on the wave of belief long enough for you to concrete. And this is where habit, like an outside success, starts to validate. You get your first trade and see, yes, reticular activating system. Yes, look, I got my first trade. I knew I was going to be a winning trader. I knew it was going to work out. And then you just keep riding that wave, riding that wave. So the first starting point is you have to work on your identity to believe that whatever you touch, you're going to win at. So I've already written those programs for you. It's in Quantum Codes, Quantum Self. And you start to be delusional that whatever you touch, you're going to succeed at. I think for you and a lot of Leonora as well, you get too much into the mechanics of it. And you think that the strategy is going to do it. It's not the strategy. It's the belief behind the strategy. If you look, like, for example, like when I look at my mentor, Alex G, no hate to him. He's a really cool dude. I look at this guy and I'm like, fucking A. Like, I'm just like way smarter than this guy. The way he talks and stuff, I'm like, he talks to like beginners and just like, he's like a normal Miami
I think
dude
I saw
like,
his video and I was like, okay, maybe I should learn from him, learn Forex again. And then I was like, oh, his stuff kind of similar to like what I've learned 10 years ago from another guy, except the other guy is like a boomer that's taught that I'm like, man, this guy teaches like somebody from like 40 years ago. So it's like really hard to like keep up. And then it seems like Alex is more like he talks in our language. So
yeah. He's like super like down to earth. Like he's like a C type student. Like he's like a D plus C type student in school, And so like when I see him, I'm like, all he has is a winning self-image and then years of practice. That's all it is. A winning self-image. I can do that. I know the self-image work. I'll take his course and learn the strategy, which would take me 6 months. After that, it's pure identity. That's why I knew I was going to win in trading, because it's an identity-based thing.
Yeah, because like when I was looking at his stuff, I was like, oh, this is just price action trading. And then it's basically the same thing as like what I was learning before. So
yeah. So I don't want to get too much into strategy. I want you to focus on like what exactly is the thing you need to work on. It's your identity, man. Your identity might be very low based on past track record. You need to work on your identity, knowing that whatever you touch, you're going to win at. And that takes a little bit of time. You have to brainwash yourself, which is why we do the meditations, why we do self-talk rampage. You literally, and this is what Sarah did, my biggest testimonial. She just signed up again for my upper level stuff. She was only making $300 a month. And I told her to do this. And if you go watch that testimony on the YouTube channel, she became delusional. Like your entire life should be listening to self-talk rampages, goal guards, meditation. Like it's 95% being delusional that you're going to succeed. And it's going to take you 2 to 3 weeks to kind of like flip the switch. But the moment you do that, one day you're going to wake up and be like, hell yeah, I am a successful trader. Because you've convinced the subconscious mind, then your reticular activating system will come in, get you a winning trade, then you just keep building on that momentum. And that becomes of who you are. I think you're a very analytical person, just based on like the vibes you're giving me.
I became an analytical person because I
think
that got drilled onto me.
You're gonna have to flip your identity. That's an identity that you're an analytical person, over analyzing things. Like you're gonna have to flip to the other side, which is identity-based, spiritual-based things, like things I'm talking about now. I know that, like, for example, like you want to have the identity that whatever you touch, you're going to succeed at. Like if I go into boxing, right, I know I'm going to freaking crush it because I'm going to do identity work and I'm going to convince myself that I'm an amazing boxer. And I'm just going to crush this thing. This is an identity confidence thing that's built over time by doing the work. You have to work on yourself, dude. Literally, that's what it is. You're in the right program for that. Dude, I'm telling you right now, 99% of your success moving forward is going to be you working on yourself and building your confidence and convincing yourself through delusion that you are a winner at the thing you're working on, and then the doors will open after. It's not strategy, dude. It's all identity.
Okay.
Are you clear on
And
what your next action step are?
uh mostly yes.
Quantum self program, quantum self,
Yeah.
delusional meditation. And you're right. Okay. One simple line. You need to become delusional and convince yourself over the next month that you are a freaking winner. It does not matter what happened in the past. Reject reality. Just like I said, Leo, you have to reject your reality and everything that's happened. Reject the projection. Live in your imagination that you are a freaking winner. Listen to it all day long. If you need to, while you're sleeping in the day, self-talk rampages and say that you are this winner. The switch will flip 2 to 4 weeks in, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then you'll start to see the doors open after that. It's belief first, then the actions and the wins will come.
Okay. Okay. So like just so I have like a clear understanding. So you want to look in first person view on things that you want, and you want to look like from a third person's perspective on things you don't want. Like
For
that's
what
what
exactly? For meditation?
because you said like you gave an example on GTA where you usually you play that game in third person view, right? So like
Yeah.
you said like you're watching that from a third person view, and then you're like reject that's it's not real or
Yeah,
whatever.
you don't want to live in first person. The only time you want to live in first person is when you're doing your visualization. Like with,
Yeah,
for
so
example,
like
you're
things that you
visualizing
want.
yourself doing things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Visualize, seeing yourself, getting on a stage, seeing yourself taking a winning trade. Like what I do when I visualize for the Forex, I'm seeing myself like my trading account having millions of dollars. I see I just did 400,000. And I look at, I can look at FX Alex, my mentor. Yeah, he made 400,000 today. So I visualize myself extracting the 400,000. I see myself just winning and winning and winning and winning. So I see this in first person in my visualization. But when you open up your eyes, you see yourself in third person, realizing that in this very moment, I am not a good trader. I don't even know how to take a trade yet. So I reject this version of myself because this version is not real, because the one who's real is the one I see in my mind. Does everybody follow me there?
Okay, I might
Eyes
have to
closed,
like
first person. This is my real version. Remember, there's two worlds you live in, an internal world and external world. With the eyes closed, I'm in my internal world, having my true self, the truth. The truth is what I see in my mind. Then I open up my eyes, and that's not real right now. So I have to reject this character that I am and see myself as the 5-star general. And I see that guy's a third person. So I see my body kind of doing things and working, and I'm at this desk and I'm doing the trading and I'm looking at highs and lows and I'm looking at this stuff. But I'm like, okay, I'm learning this. This is part of the character development. And the character needs to learn these things to understand strategy. But I see myself as so much bigger. This is making sense. So it's like you see yourself going through the missions just so you can be the guy, the top GTA character.
I guess it's like training to think that way.
It's a trait, bro. That's literally what it is. It's like you have to train your mind that you're bigger than who you are now.
Yeah, because I'm like sometimes I'm like training my like seeing like my success from a person's perspective instead of a
No,
first
you got to see
person
it from first
perspective.
person. So the subconscious mind accepts it. If you see it from third person, it's like the subconscious mind doesn't think it's you. Like the subconscious mind only understands the present moment and the images in the present now. Because God only has now. Like God doesn't have another person. Like at 4 p.m. tomorrow, He only has present moment, which is spirit. So when you're doing visualization, it has to be in the present moment. Then you open up your eyes, knowing that this is not real, rejecting the projection, the simulation, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. You open up your eyes, and then your character needs to gather some skills in order to be that character. But you're operating from a higher frequency. So when I'm taking my course, I'm literally taking my course thinking, okay, I got to learn what a high and low is and a head and shoulders. But fuck, dude, I will earn millions of dollars from this. And I will go and I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe have whatever. I don't know what I'll do after that. But I know I've earned millions of. I knew I had earned 7 figures from trading before I even bought a course.
Yeah, I
because of
mean,
this
I had
strategy.
that I had that visualization a long time ago too, like like 10 years
Yes.
ago.
Yeah,
I even
this
created like an Excel chart on like all the losses and wins.
yeah, you just have to start to live in that world. You just have to continue to live in that higher world through repetition, meditation, knowing who you are by studying, thinking to results, and knowing your abilities. And that's what it is. It's just like, the more you study yourself and how powerful you are, the more you realize that anything you touch will win at. That's what the paradigm is. Old paradigm is keeping you stuck. New paradigm is the imaginative version of yourself in the quantum field, and you take actions from that. So think about this. This is a perfect example. I don't know. This leads on to something we were saying earlier. So it's like I'm going into trading. I bought this course knowing I was going to be a seven-figure trader, if not eight-figure trader. Now, do you see how when I'm going through my trading, I see trading differently? Now, this is not something I'm trying. This is like I gotta learn what this high and low is so I can understand the market because so I can, withdraw my $500,000 a month. Do you see like the level of belief now in which I take my course, in which I take my trades? That's what I was talking about with Leor. You could take one action from a lower frequency. This is something I try. Hopefully I make money versus fuck, dude. I've already made millions of dollars before I even touch this shit. And I don't even know what it is. I gotta learn these little things. Let's get through this thing so I can get to my millions of dollars waiting for me. Same action, different frequencies. All identity, all internal work, all living from the imagination, all being very clear what it is, all being delusional because I'm very clear with the higher version of myself and doing that long enough until it persists. And then it will. It's guaranteed to work. It's a law. Is this helpful?
Yeah.
Good question.
Okay. And then,
Okay.
if it's okay, like just
Yeah.
one more thing about these
Yeah.
worksheets.
Yeah.
You know how
What?
on every other page, the same type of page is like, kind of like this,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I'm not like I guess from the very beginning, I'm like, what am I supposed to write here for every other page? Are we supposed to like read like, something that's only reading and then write
Yeah. Yeah.
notes
You just take
on
notes
every
on that.
single one?
Yeah, because
Okay,
for
so
example, when you take a program like this, ideas will hit, business ideas, things you need to stop, things you need to start. You'll get these ideas. So instead of having like a separate notebook, like for example, I'm going through the course right now. Here's a separate notebook for me to go to this program. The program and the notes are together, so you have everything in one place. So that's the idea behind it. So Bob Proctor had a program like this back in the 80s, and I liked the idea because anytime I would study, I would always have a workbook and then my notebook. So I was like, oh, that's a cool concept. Why don't we add that in? So you have all your things in one place. You have lesson on one, and if you get an idea, you can write it down or an action step and have it in categories right there. So if it's an idea, if it's a note, it's an identity thing, you can write it right there. And if you don't have anything, you just skip the page, right? So now all your notes and your studies are all in one place instead of having separate workbooks.
okay. Because a lot of the times I'm like nothing pops up. I just read it and just take it for what it is.
If you, yeah, this is why you want to do deep study. Like you should be every page getting some type of idea or an identity or something when you're doing deep work. Maybe every other page, but really every page there should be something. Like if you're learning like a paradigm, you're like, okay, my paradigm is why I'm stuck right now. Well, what is a paradigm? What's one thing I can change in my paradigm this week? Oh, I've noticed that I binge eat when I'm nervous. And like you just start writing random things, ideas that come in that apply for what you just read. It's just notes. That's all it is. It's your workbook and your notes together so you can brainstorm and implement with every page that you write. If you don't have anything for that page, that's fine. Move on to the next one.
Okay. All right, that's
Hmm.
it. Icho.
Yeah, good question. Next, guys. Garrett,
Hey man,
how's it going, my man?
that's going good. I was thinking of a question, but I'm kind of going back and forth between friends' houses. I got all my stuff in my car as well.
All good. All
But
good.
yeah, I've been, I guess, doing the work and started the marketing business. I think we might have talked about a little their Instagram,
Yeah.
but I felt myself as well just living in the present moment too much. Is like my bank account's going down. I'm like having to move out of my parents' house. I think most of the day I realize that I'm in the 3D more than I'm in my imagination. That's what got me to this point. So that's good to hear
Yeah.
of
It's
how to get through that.
yeah, it goes the same for everybody. You're gonna have to continue to do it. Even
Mhm.
even at my level. Like I still have to do it. Like literally, it's what I'm doing to this day. So I can have the biggest launch of my life this month. I have to reject the projection. There's nothing in my current reality, nothing in my current followings that said that we can do 300,000 this month. Like there's nothing there. So I have to do the work, reject the projection, see it as done. Like I was literally before the gym went to visualization. I'm sorry, before I went to the gym, I did a visualization and Vanessa was waiting for me and she was sitting there just waiting for me to order the car. And I get up and I said, "Holy shit, we are fully booked out." Like, oh my god, like I don't even know. I don't even have salespeople trained. Like, I'm gonna be so busy. I don't even know when I'm gonna make YouTube videos. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm so convinced that this is real that I'm like, shit. Like, how I'm taking sales calls from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. Like I'm gonna have to be in the Americas because I don't want to be doing late calls here in Dubai at 7 p.m. at night here. So it's like, damn. So I gotta get back to the States. I gotta start like training Alexis to start taking sales calls. I gotta, dude, like how am I gonna do YouTube videos? I'm gonna have to set, times. Like what time am I gonna start my day? I swear to God, this is literally how it's not even here, but I'm already like thinking like, all right, I gotta start moving my day around to make sure that I can accommodate all these sales calls for these people that are coming in to hit this 300K, which is only like 20, 30 people. But you see, like I'm so convinced that this is real that I have to like move and navigate my day and start training my people. And hey, Alexis, we're gonna be booked out, bro. I need you taking some sales calls. Let's start having you do some practice here. Let's do this. We gotta move this. Like I move my day around because I'm so convinced that this is real that I start doing things. You see what I'm saying? That's the point of what you have to get to, guys. Like you have to get to the point where your visualization is so real that you start moving your day around to start accommodating the space for the new things. And this is like what creating a vacuum is, the law of vacuum. You start to create these quantum actions to do things that implying that you've already achieved your goal, and it starts to happen. The universe is orderly. So if you start feeling, and acting your frequency like it's done, and start navigating like that, it has to come. You create a space and a void where the universe has to fill that void. So by me being fully booked out, we have to go back to the States. If I'm taking all these sales calls, I have to make sure Alexis is qualifying them. So he's been taking the last qualifying calls. We got to make sure payment processors are ready. We have to make sure, like, I'm already preparing everything, even though there's nothing even here. I'm so convinced it's done that I have to take actions to move things around in order to do that. Does that make sense? Like, that's the kind of actions you guys want to be taking. Is that making sense?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I think I might be in the right mindset because I'm so delusional that my parents are worried. My dad showed up. He's like, "You're 22. You have no money. You're gonna something bad's gonna happen." I'm like, "No, Dad, I'm fine. I promise."
Yeah, I mean, I left my house at 21 with $600 to Miami. I was sleeping in my car, and within like 2 months, I was already making like 5K a month in my agency, just going door to
Dang,
door, getting agency clients.
dang,
Yeah, I built it up from there.
dang. Yeah,
Yeah,
yesterday, actually 2 days ago, I had negative $12 in my bank account because I've just been doing odd jobs and stuff. But in my mind, I feel good. Like I know what my vision is. I know what I'm building. So um,
yeah, that's it. It's literally feelings. Like if you feel good, even the outside, like that's how you know your word is winning. It's working. Like the outside world, that's what I meant about like the seeing yourself from a third person. Like your character sees negative shit, but you're like, I feel good. This shit is fake. Like this bank account is fake. These views are fake. Because what is real is like I'm so calm. I am in so peace right now because this character in first person is doing things, but as a developer level, I see the next levels, and I'm so bought into this that I know everything's gonna work out. That is how you create the reality. That's how I've done it. Exactly what you said right there. That's what I've been trying to explain here. You have peace. Like you're not stressed
yeah,
out. Peace.
I think that's
Yeah.
yeah. I got over that recently. I used to be just so stressed out, couldn't sleep because I was just like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna eat? But now I'm just at peace to where I know that things are gonna work out. And I feel things are moving now where I'm really confident the next month. Big
Yeah. And
changes.
just watch how things start to happen. You have to hold that state now. You have to hold that state and
Mhm.
just watch it and think bigger, hold that state and just watch how doors open. And then you'll look back and be like, that's what he was talking about. It's it's like my job is to try to like articulate these laws and feelings to people and then try to transmute that in YouTube videos and coaching so people can hit that. And once they hit that, now they understand what I'm talking about. You could just keep doing that over and over again until you for everything. It's literally for the rest of your life as long as you're doing things that are worthwhile. Yeah. Good. Great job, man. Ari, you have a question?
Um, what's your favorite GTA game?
GTA game. Dude, honestly, I haven't played
I don't know. I just
GTA
thought
since,
I'd ask that.
bro, I haven't played GTA since I was like 18, bro. Like I sold my Xbox when I was like, yeah. I sold my Xbox to go to Miami. I haven't played video games in a long time. Even when I was
Yeah.
living in Miami, I had an Xbox, but I play a little bit, then I'd feel guilty for playing video games, then I would stop. Yeah, I don't really play
Yeah,
video games, but I
I'm the
understand the
same way, to be
concept.
honest.
Yeah, I understand the concept and it's cool because people understand it. And that's so I don't actually play it, but maybe for the new GTA 6, I probably would buy a console just to play, like to be honest.